Shalom Aleichem from London, England. My name is Rabbi Daniel Friedman. I'm the rabbi of Hampstead Garden Suburb Synagogue, the flagship United Synagogue. It's been a tough year for everyone. Between coronavirus and issues of confronting racism in our society, and now the terrible war in Israel, not only an enemy that wants to destroy us externally, but now we have civil unrest as Arab Israelis and Jewish Israelis are fighting in ways that will upset social cohesion for years to come. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Torah's view of the other. We open up our Parsha with the continuation of the beautiful encampment of Bnei Israel in the Midbar. Last week we read about with various tribes how each had a special flag, each had a special formation. And at the beginning of this week's Parsha, we read about the last family of the Levium and how they would camp. The Torah then takes a bit of a dark turn and says that sometimes people will be impure and we will send them outside the camp. Then the Torah takes a bit of a strange turn and talks about the topic of Gezel Hager, someone who steals from a convert. And it seems to be a little out of place. What's it doing here? Answer is, well, when we think about Ma Tova Ohelecha Yaakov Mishkanotecha Yisrael, what about the person who has no home to come back to, who is being excluded from the camp, but then is purified, but feels that they're out of place? That's the ger. You're going to tell me what we didn't have gerim, we didn't have converts in the desert? Of course we did. V'gam erev rav Allah itam. Out of Egypt came with us a great mixed multitude. But somehow, remember them? The erev rav? Anytime something went bad, it was the erev rav. They were the ones that built the golden calf. They were the ones that complained about the water. They were the ones that murmured for meat. Let's take a little peek into next week's Parsha. And the people were murmuring. Who was it? Look in there, Ibn Ezra. It was the Erev Rav. But let's think about how we saw them versus how the Torah saw them. We saw them as the Asaf Suf Erev Rav. Kind of rolls off your tongue. Think about riffraff, rabble-rousers. Anytime something went wrong, we saw the stranger amongst us. But how did the Torah see the stranger? No less than 36 times does the Torah tell us, V'ahavtem es hager, love the stranger. Ki gerim hayisem be'eretz Mitzrayim. We were strangers in which land? The land of Egypt? Actually, they were our hosts. These were the good guys. These were the pure ones that decided to join Bnei Israel, who probably treated us half decently when we were back in Egypt. What does Erev Rav actually mean? Well, we think of mixed multitude, but the word Erev, Arev, means we were responsible for them. It means we saw them with a certain sweetness. And yet somehow, when things went wrong, we othered them. We looked at them differently. There's always been a place for the Erev Rav, the people that we're responsible for, even if they are not Jewish in our society. And it's our challenge how to make them feel welcome in our society, how we include them in the camp, how we make them feel special, how we make them feel honored and cherished, even if they might not be Jewish, because we don't believe that everybody should be Jewish. It's a problem right now in countries like Britain and America that there are minorities that don't feel that they're part of society, and it's incumbent upon us to reach out and be inclusive. It starts with each and every one of us. And yes, in the land of Israel and the state of Israel as well. We've always had minorities in the land of Israel and in our camp. And that's the challenge. How do we reach out to them? How do we include them? How do we maximize on social cohesion? Sadly, we're at a bit of a low right now, and people are afraid of one another, scared of their neighbor. Let's hope and pray that the Almighty brings peace to the Holy Land very soon, safety and security for every one of Israel's citizens, Jewish and non-Jewish alike. May we see peace in the Holy Land and throughout the world very soon.